Okay, so today's topic is going to be really serious. Well, as some of you may know, is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So,
We're just going to talk about it and discuss a few things that we feel are an issue just in general in our community or on campus. For starters, we're just going to, I guess, go in for sexual assault. Everybody knows what sexual assault is. People just choose to ignore what sexual assault is. Or consent. People know what consent is. They just choose to ignore what consent is. What do you feel like consent is, Jordan?
if, okay, one, both parties, both or more, whatever you're into, have to be clear minded and able to say yes or no to the situation. You have to wait till you get that yes in order for it to be consensual sex. Point blank, period.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other way around it. There's no, oh, she looked like she was ready for it. Oh, well, her body said yes. Nah, fuck that. Fuck that.
If I'm too drunk or intoxicated to say no, that means I can't say yes at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And second, my thing is a lot of times I feel like people don't understand that sexual assault, when a woman or a woman or a male is raped or sexually assaulted, reporting, I know that's a lot of the topic is why don't they report? Why do they wait so long to report? I had somebody say, well, that's gonna make other people get raped because they're not reporting and they could have saved somebody's life. But my thing is, it's not the victim's responsibility to make sure the perpetrator isn't raping. The raper shouldn't rape. I feel like that.
Exactly. Rape is not right at all. So it's not the victim's fault at all. So you shouldn't blame the victim ever.
And another thing is, reporting can be more traumatizing than actually being sexually assaulted. It can trigger you. And then the backlash that you get from reporting. Oh, what was your responsibility? What were you wearing? What were you doing? Being victim blaming is a thing. So just things like that can really hinder how a person decides to go about their situation.
It's a huge thing, honestly, especially on the internet. I'll say that because people tend to be way more bold on social media. It's not a face-to-face thing. People want to express how they feel without having, the consequences in real life. So they're going to get on there and say whatever, especially if they're ignorant to it. Or if they haven't had it happen to them. A lot of people, well, you should have did this. You shouldn't have been wearing this. No, none of that matters. For one, as a rape victim, it can be very hard to report because after reporting this, you have to relive it over and over again. You have to tell your story in detail. You have to write it down. You have to be questioned about it. You have to talk about it. If you go to court, you have to tell a judge in front of a jury, the person who did it, their lawyer, reporters, all of that. It's very difficult.
And you have no say so in what a victim or how a victim chooses to handle their situation. You have no say so, no right. So don't have the audacity to sit and push your opinion on what somebody should or shouldn't do based on their situation. It's just not your place. If
At
you
all.
have questions, ask somebody, do your research about it, inform yourself. Don't sit here and victim blame and say, oh, she waited so long to report, it must have been serious, or she just regretted having sex, so she said she was raped. It's not the case. And I get there are false rape claims, but you can't punish a whole group because of one decision somebody makes. So you have to be open, willing, and to understand that sexual assault is a serious topic and not laugh about it or make jokes, because you never know if you're standing next to a victim, and a lot of people don't care until it's their loved one or them.
Right, I hate that. That's just like one heartbreaking thing is because people who have reached out for help, they feel like they don't have it. They feel like they're being ignored, and then boom, something happens to a loved one of someone who did ignore someone else who needed that help, and then all of a sudden it's this huge deal. Like, no.
Don't joke about it the same way that you wouldn't joke about anything that's serious to you or domestic violence. Don't joke about it because it can be triggering for a lot of people.
And the other thing is, honestly, anybody could be out here raping. You say, oh, my homeboy would never do that. Oh, my homegirl would never do that. I know them too well. People have secrets. People really have secrets out here. They can hide things.
And if you know your friend, this is what your friend partakes in, speak up, say something. Like, you are enabling their behavior by allowing them to continue to do what they do with no repercussions or no consequences.
Right. Oh, other thing. I don't know. Personally, I don't even like the phrase sexual assault because I feel like it waters down the situation. It just makes it easy, like, for people to just be like, oh yeah, you know, this sexual assault, whatever. No, it's rape. Like, people get uncomfortable when you say rape, but they're not as uncomfortable when you say sexual assault. No, I need you to feel exactly how bad it is. Like,
yeah, because sexual assault can mean anything. Like, oh, you touched me inappropriately. Rape, it has a line. They're different.
Definitely.
And I don't really too much care for the word victim because I feel like it's demeaning.
Survivor. I'll say that.
Yeah. And I just feel like you need to be aware of these things and not make it such a I get people want to talk about sexual assault and they try to lighten the situation with jokes, but you can't lighten the topic of sexual assault. You have to take it head on, and if it's uncomfortable, continue to talk about it. Don't make jokes because you can't lighten the situation about somebody being raped or sexually assaulted. There's nothing funny about it. Men get raped. We understand that, and men don't talk about it because their homies are gonna make fun of them or say, oh, it didn't happen, he's a man. Like, it's just as serious if a woman gets raped or a man gets raped.
Exactly.
Is that it for our PSA, for our little announcement?
Yeah.
This is what's bothering Jordan and Jazz today.
Right?
Oh, and another thing. If I walk out in nipple tassels and a thong, you better not touch me or rape me because it's my body and my choice, and I can wear and do whatever I want at the end of the day, and that does not give you an invitation to my body.
Look, if I'm butt-ass naked outside and I didn't say that I want to have sex with you, then no means no. What you mean? Like, if I didn't give you consent, then sorry.
I can wear what I want and do what I want, and I'll still make all A's. I'll still be educated and smart. So just because I dress a certain way does not give you a reason to label me anything other than to display your insecurities on me.
Period.